That's perfect. And boom, period.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to
Okay.
chapter 3.
Chapter 3, you're, if you consider, this is sort of like boot camp. This is where you're giving them, you're equipping them and you're teaching them how to use these specific skills before they actually hit the battlefield.
So regardless of which area you're going to do battle in,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You need a gun, you need a bayonet, you need a shovel, you need a helmet.
Yeah, here's perfect. Perfect.
So then you're going to give them those principles are what will arm them for whatever battle they're getting ready to go into. Now how they use it will be specific to the battle, but
So to your point, that's really like putting on the armor of God.
there you go.
So those are your weapons.
Mhm.
Those are your...
It's your equipping chapter.
Your equipping. Okay, perfect. Good. So this is our equipping. So the purpose is that at the end of that chapter, they would know there's different elements, items, principles that will equip them
Mm-hmm.
to do battle strategically and tactically
Mm-hmm.
in each of those areas of your life for the purpose of getting the result they're trying to achieve, which is a life of significance.
Right.
Got it.
So there you're also going to tell them you can't afford to miss this chapter because this is, this is going to be like going into battle without a rifle.
Yeah.
If you don't get this, when you go in, you're not going to be equipped with
These
these
are the
things.
essentials.
You got to have these with you. So if you skip any chapter, don't skip this one.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to carry forward everything you need to know, and then we're going to apply everything that we have in this chapter.
So these are got it. So the principles, the essentials, and then we're going to apply those principles in each area of our life to get the outcome that we're trying to achieve in every area. And that is to live a life of balance,
Mhm.
which acknowledges we have more than one area of our life, business, where most men spend their whole life in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to balance those by having some key, I don't know what we're going to call them, but some key action steps in each area of our life to create a habit that would give you the why based on the what. Okay? It's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm open to any other, when I go there, my goal is going to be obviously to,
I think a realistic goal would be the first 2 chapters would be first draft.
okay? Well, that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I've never spent that much time on that small of a amount of writing.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's going to be small, I mean, you're saying 5,000 words, but, typically I'm spending 6 days on, making something like a lot. So this is my challenge, that I have to resist the temptation to be oil on water.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is you can get so bogged down, in details that, you become,
You just get caught up in the gears.
yeah. So, by focusing on, 2 full good chapters, 10,000 words in 6 days, is not bad.
That's moving.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty decent. Typically when I have content all put together, like Chuck's sermons, his outline and everything, and it's all organized and everything, 5,000 words in about 4 days, finished, ready to go to the publisher. But that's because I do that troweling thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So other writers would probably, be faster with the rough draft.
So I have to resist the temptation to rabbit trail, to go so deep on any one concept, because the outcome, I mean, unless it's, be fruitful in some way, shape, or form, but, I'm like one of those guys, okay, I got 6 days. That means 2 chapters, 3 days apiece. That means after day 1, I should be 1,667 words through. That's how because, we did a magazine.
It may be a little more weighted toward the first chapter is a little harder to do, because it's, you got inertia, and then, you're kind of finding your voice and everything. So, yeah, I wouldn't, 3 days is not a bad, goal, but don't let it throw you off if it doesn't work out that way, if it's 4 days and 2 days.
Got it. Okay.
And then as you're writing, you may get a piece of writing that's done that you go, okay, that's pretty good, but it's not really focused on what I want. Don't erase it. I have a second document I always have in the background, in the back, and I call it Chapter 1 Scraps.
Okay.
And what I do is I move it to Chapter 1 Scraps, close that file, erase it from here, and then go back to what I was doing.
Yeah, got it.
Because that may fit somewhere else really
Sure.
well, and it's already done, and you said it nicely.
Got it. Okay. So I think, I agree with what you're saying. And this one, I think, is going to be the easiest chapter for me to write.
Probably.
Because this is what I teach
There you go.
almost on a daily basis.
Right.
So I go, connecting the dots for understanding. You know, issues, obstacles, and concerns. The dew point.
Right.
I mean, so there's,
Yep.
you know, and then what we could do is we could take those principles and group them under like productivity.
Right.
You know, well, we'll group them under, you know, these things. You know, but that's going to be a resource in and of itself.
Yep.
Because that's,
And, you know, when we get to that, I would say, don't limit yourself. I mean, I said, we'll keep it to 7 or 8. You know, write them out. You know, write them all out, you know, as they come to you, because, you know, you're going to be in that mode, and that's like, it's kind of where you live. Go ahead and write them all out. We can sort through them, group them,
Yeah.
figure out what to do with them. Choose the best 7 or 8, the key essential ones. Drop the other ones in as sidebars or something. So, you know,
yeah.
there's
I mean,
always
it's what
ways
you-
to use that
Yeah,
content.
what we're
later.
saying is, we might have 7, right? And there might be 7 underneath them, we don't know.
Right.
But then again, what's really cool is this right here is material that's over here on the web with videos. It's also material that end up over here in worksheets. So, you know, we could say, you know,
Blogs.
conceptually, blogs, we could say conceptually one thing, one concept, and go, on the worksheets, we're gonna break this concept down to 7 essential points and go over each one of them. Right, but here's the basic concept: time compression,
That's it.
force deficiency,
Yep.
tyranny of the earth, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, so I'm tracking with you there.
Yep.
So, yeah, this one is gonna be a lot of fun. This one is gonna be a
Those
lot
are-
of reflection.
I'm telling you, the first 2 chapters are always the hardest, because, like, you know, you already know all of this.
Yeah.
The hard part, you know, here is just organizing it and making it concise. But as far as content, I mean,
Yeah.
you've got tons, and it'll come out of you just very easily. So getting, you know, those 2 will be, when you get those 2 done,
We should be a snowball going down.
yeah.
And then this one will probably then be.
It almost
conclusion
writes
to be-
itself.
Mm.
When you get there, you know, you will have come to a place where you'll be thinking, I already know how I want to conclude this. And then you can start setting it up while you're writing. pretty
So
cool.
drop the breadcrumbs along each chapter that we're gonna pick up, and, because what I want that conclusion to be is, here, I mean, simply this. I mean, this is the conclusion. I mean, for me, it's 2 things. You know, God is really designing me to be an encourager of men. And so if they're already on the other side of Christ, it's encouragement to be all that we were created to be. If they're not, it's going to give them the opportunity to come to Christ and to, you know, follow the model of,
Right.
you know,
And then it feeds it all back into
and it comes all
Yep.
back around. So that's what I'm hopeful
Mhm.
for. I'm hopeful that, you know, certainly it'll be, you know, used in men's ministry, and if it's, you know, if it's has value to be used that way. But
Yep.
I mean, I would want nothing more than for people to go, you know, I've been muscling this thing through by myself. I've been kind of doing all these things over here, and you know, I haven't really given over the control of my life to God, and I think it's time I'm going to do that. That nothing would be better for me.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Uh,
Ties it all together
yeah,
with that eternal value, not just,
that's
you know, being successful here.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the purpose of the book, is how
Yeah.
we add significance. So,
Right.
what's the purpose of the book? Encourage people in Christ, or
Bring them to Christ.
bring them to Christ.
Right.
That's the purpose of the book.
Yeah.
We're just disguising it in ways that, you know, people find to be, you know.
As you're starting to write, and as you're preparing, to go on your
Yeah,
retreat,
good point. Yeah, what do I bring?
start thinking, just good internet connection.
Okay. I mean, like,
I can't write without an internet connection.
because the reason why I say that is it's my nature to bring all my books. I mean, all of my.
Whatever you want, whatever you feel like that you think you might need, pack them all in that car and have them. You may not have to bring them out of the trunk. That's fine. Take whatever you think you need, even if you think you might need it. Just there's no reason why you can't just throw it in the trunk and have it, because you're not flying there, right? Yeah. So whatever you can fit in your car, whatever you think you need, your computer, internet connection, whatever research materials you have, certainly everything that you've got there. You'll be surprised, I think, that you'll rely very little on that for doing these, because these are primarily motivational.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question.
And as you're doing, preparing for your retreat, between now and then, do some visualization of you in front of a crowd, of a very large crowd of men. And you've just been introduced, you've come out, you've already, done your preface by telling who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. Now you're going to launch into chapter 1. The first line is going to be the first line of your story, whatever that is. Joe Johnson lay on his deathbed staring at a ceiling, and all the faces around him were strangers because none of his family were present. That first line that makes him go, lean forward to, I want to hear the rest of the story. Mm-hmm. And then you tell that story in a compelling way, but in a way that they can see themselves in that person's, so you don't make it so bad, this isn't Judas, but it's sufficiently bad where they see themselves going down his path and you're telling his story. So just think of how you would tell that story if you were standing in front of an audience, and then write it that way. The biggest mistake I see in people who write is they think that their writing voice is different from their speaking voice, and they are the same. It's your voice.
Yeah.
However you speak to people, do that in writing and it will be compelling because it's you. Don't try to write good. People want to write good. Just be clear.
Yeah.
An editor will help fix the grammar. Just be
Good.
you.
Question. Is it okay if I spend a majority of the first day just getting all my resources in alignment? Like, there's a lot. We're handling 5 areas of our life here. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of content. I'm a big planner doer. I am strategic, but I act tactically. Mm-hmm. So is it okay to do whatever I need to do to get everything organized? Because really what I'd like to do, I know it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
I want to personally connect the dots of the words to make the outcome, what we're trying to achieve. So I want to try to start with some sort of, we're doing it right here.
Yeah.
So I think you've already done that. So that actually...
Yeah, for you, getting in and making your space, I would set a time limit on it. Mm-hmm. And making your space and getting you where you need to be comfortably into doing what you're doing. Because you have to feel ready. Yeah. But then that can work against you too, because that could become the thing. Well, I never feel ready because this isn't ready. This isn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's.
So if you just set a time limit on setting up your workspace and getting where you think you want your books, lined up a certain way or whatever. Okay, well I've got till 11:30 to do that. Done.
Got it. Okay, so you're applying the principle of what I call forced efficiency by time compression.
There you go.
That's what we're doing.
That's the deadline for writing.
Yeah.
That's essentially what that is.
Great. Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your.
Sure.
If there's any, I'm all. If there's anything else you want to share with me before we go, or caveats, or.
No, it's a process. So we'll have more when you come back with what you've got. We can look at it and then see where we go next.
Good. So it's safe to say after 6 days, we'll be further than we are right now?
Yeah.
That's the good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't go backwards.
No.
Excellent. Good.
All right.
All right. Well, shut
If you're
this
done
down.
with this, I'll just
Let me-
go ahead
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture,
Okay.
if that's okay.